What is up, everybody? This is our second live stream for today. The first one was a little bumpy, a little unfocused, but I promise today, or right now in this live stream, we're going to keep it a little tighter. We're talking to YouTube creator Unmesh, and he has a ginormous following on YouTube. He does Photoshop tutorials on Lightroom, and he's here also on behalf of Adobe, I think, and Wacom, and just on by yourself.
I just work with them. You know, I love my freedom. You know,
I do too.
If Adobe makes trash, I'm gonna say it's trash. If it makes good thing, I'm gonna say it's good.
Okay, it's gonna be a little spicy.
I love my freedom.
Okay,
so
now we were doing a little conversation, a little pre-talk, and he said he's gonna share all of his secrets. I want to know how he grew his channel.
Most,
right? Oh no, just most, just.
You know, of course, I'm not going to share what kind of color underwear I wear.
Okay,
so,
okay.
yeah.
Well, we won't talk about that. So here's the thing. I've asked him to speak in Hindi to welcome our Indian fans. Like, he thinks it's a little awkward, but I think it'll be a special treat for them. So go ahead and welcome to the show.
What's the name of the show?
It's called The Future.
The Future.
Yes, that's where we're at.
नमस्कार देवियों और सज्जनों, आपका स्वागत है The Future show में.
Woo! All right, I love that. Thank you so much for doing that. Thank you for indulging me. I know that's a little awkward.
I don't know. My family might disown me. So
you can stay at my place if that happens, okay? All right, so we were just talking a little bit before. You are extremely, extremely young. He's 23 years old. He started this channel 2 to 3 years ago, and he's been able to blow it up. Like, your videos get millions or hundreds of thousands of views. What is your secret? How'd you get started? How do you do all this stuff? Give us all the goods.
I can take one at a time.
Okay. How'd you get started?
So it started with my father bringing the family's first computer when I was 8 years old.
Okay.
So you're old enough to know this, that there was a term called DTP, desktop publishing.
Yes, of course.
So he was getting into desktop publishing. Most people don't know today about...
Your dad?
Yes.
Wow.
My dad was getting into it. So he got a new computer. And I still remember, it just had 512 MB of space.
Right.
So it was back in those days. So it came with Photoshop 6.0 installed.
Okay.
So while every other kid was playing games like Contra, back in the days you had those console games,
yes.
Mario and stuff.
Yep.
But I was playing with Photoshop.
Yes.
So I had so much fun playing with Photoshop. I would take photos of my relatives, I would take photos of my friends, and then just replace the heads, turn them green, red, turn them into Shrek, and all that kind of fun stuff. So that's how I got started with it, by playing with it. And that's how I learned Photoshop, because back in those days I didn't have access to internet as well. So every thing that I learned back then was trial and error. And secondly, I used some books, whatever I could find, to learn Photoshop. That's how I got...
You read books?
Photoshop. Well, I tried to.
Yeah. And so how old are you when you're poking around in Photoshop?
8, 9.
Wow. Okay, so I have 2 boys. I have a boy who just turned 16 and one that's 13.
All right.
We have more computers than you can use. We have Photoshop and everything. How do I get my kids excited about Photoshop?
Like you get anybody excited about anything, by creating or doing some fun stuff. Like, you can do this in Photoshop. Show them some images that's going to excite them.
Yes, but you know what? I think a problem that we have, at least in the Doe residence, is there are so many distractions, from Netflix to Amazon Prime, and then they're playing their video games, their what is this, the Nintendo Switch?
Yes.
So Photoshop is fun, it's exciting, but maybe not as exciting as a Super Smash Brothers or something.
But at the end of the day, we have to understand that by playing video games, they're not giving you anything. So you're not learning anything which is going to be useful to you.
But that's a very mature point of view. That as an 8-year-old, you're like, I want it to be used. I'm still trying to get Ricky, who's like in his 20s, like, Ricky, will you learn this?
So here's the thing.
Yes.
I would use the keyboard analogy. So when I was learning the keyboard or the piano, people would tell me, learn how to read, learn how to play the scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, do that 1,000 times. That did not get me interested. Just when I learned how to play a song, it got me interested.
You got to make something.
Yeah, you got to make something that's yours. So.
Right, because the other stuff is very technical. Like my kids do piano too.
So.
Not that interesting. Okay, so you've been using Photoshop now for 15 plus years.
Well, 13, on and off.
Yeah, okay. Because you know things about Photoshop, and I've used Photoshop like 1.
Wow.
Yes, I told you I'm old.
You remember the time?
I am old. I am old.
Remember the time Photoshop didn't have layers?
I do remember that time. I worked in channels.
Wow.
Did you?
No. Somebody told me about it.
Yes, we had one undo, no layers, and work in channels. That's it. So you learned,
Wow.
you know, there was something beautiful about that because you learned to make decisions. You learned to commit.
True.
You learn how to like look at something. Like, is it working? Is it not? Because you only have one step back.
It's like film versus digital.
A little bit like that. Yeah. Okay, so you've been using it for at least 10 years, and you're poking around. And then what made you decide I want to take this to YouTube?
All right, so this happened in my second year of college. So I was, by the way, I did a degree in mass media and advertising, a bachelor's degree. It's done. So while I was in college, I always wanted to create videos and also be in front of the cameras. And somebody told me, and this is the first time I'm telling this, that I also wanted to be in front of the camera and also wanted to photograph. So somebody told me, Unmesh, you have to choose. Do you want to be in front of the camera or do you want to be behind the camera? You cannot be both.
Really?
Yeah, so then I was always looking for ways to be both. And then the idea of like creating videos came into it. Now, I had always had the talent to teach something. I always loved teaching. Now, there are millions of people who are better than me in Photoshop, way better than me, 1,000 times better than me. But what I have is what I'm gifted at is I can take any concept, break it down in such a way that even a 6-year-old can understand. And that's why I think people watch my videos.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. I think you have a gift at making things simple, and you have a really positive energy that transmits through the screen. Okay, so you're trying to figure out how you can be behind and in front of the camera.
And in front of the camera.
So you
and
did that.
I love teaching at the same time.
Okay.
So I started YouTube, and I didn't have any income in mind. I just wanted to be, known by people, and that's why I started YouTube. And when you create your first YouTube videos and your first 5 or first 10, you don't get any views. Your subscriber count is at 21.
Yes.
And 20 of them
People
are
can relate, yes.
20 of them are your relatives or fake accounts.
Yes.
So I was at that stage, but back then something inspired me that MKBHD,
Yes.
YouTuber.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people. You look at them and they have made thousands of videos.
Yes.
And the other thing is, MKBHD got 78 subscribers on his 100th video. So I was like, Unmesh, first make 100 videos, then judge. Then think that maybe it's the thing for you or maybe it's not the thing for you. And now we are at a point where it doesn't matter how many views I get. It doesn't matter how many subscribers I get. It's what it makes you as a person. Because when I look at videos 2 years ago, I didn't have any confidence at all in front of the camera. And I look at videos from now, it's so much different. There's so much for me to learn. I'm not mature at all, I know that. However, it's a big jump the way it is. It doesn't matter how many subscribers you have, it's just what it makes of you.
Mo, are you hearing this? It doesn't matter. He was prepared to make 100 videos for 100 subscribers.
Yeah.
No judgment. Okay.
True.
So how long does it take before you actually start to get some real traction where some views start popping?
Well, it's an answer which I would hate to say it depends. So there's not a number to it. So if somebody's starting out, it's a great way to look at what's trending. Or if one of my greatest, if I never got a video viral. My videos have never gotten viral. The way I gained subscribers was very steady. But let's say Adobe Max just happened, and someone made a video about it, and you were the first one to do it. You'll get the views. Maybe Adobe sneak peeks happen. They do the sneak peeks. I remember doing a video on the way that they could change the voice. They did a sneak peek last year. And I was the first one to make a video on that one, and some website, some blog picked it up, and it got a couple 10,000 views. So that's one of the things, picking up trending topics and being the first one about it, especially when you are very new. That's one thing to do. Secondly is keeping your existing subscribers or viewers hooked. It's very essential that they watch the video as much as they can. It's not about the complete watch time. It's about where did they leave. If it's a 10-minute video and they left at 2 minutes, you're doing something wrong. If it's a 10-minute video, they're past 5 minutes, great. YouTube's going to promote it.
You didn't answer my question though.
What's your question?
How long did it take
To what?
to get to like real kind of like you feel like, okay, maybe I found something here?
So that's what I would say. Like,
How long was
first
that?
make 100 videos, then talk to
What did it, you've only made like what 400, 500 videos?
500 videos.
Yeah.
But there was a time when I was
Yeah.
starting out,
Yeah.
I would make one video every day for 30 days, no break.
Wow.
So yeah, you gotta,
Okay. So in case you guys are joining us on the live stream, we're live here in our audience. I'm talking to Unmesh, and he has a YouTube channel. He's a very young creative person.
Well,
And
thank you.
Right? And he's 23 years old, and he has 1.5 million subscribers on his YouTube channel. So I'm here to pick his brain. So if you guys want to grow your social following, like what you need to do, especially on YouTube, hopefully we'll pick out a couple more questions, and we'll field some questions from you guys, all right? So I want to prime you guys to think about what kind of questions you want to ask him, because I want to learn from you too,
Okay.
right?
I look forward to the same.
So here's another thing I want to bring up.
Okay, sure.
Where are you from again?
Mumbai.
Mumbai. He's from Mumbai. And we get this a lot because we have, I think a good portion of our fans are from India.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you, India. But usually what happens is they say, well, this can't be done here. That's a uniquely American or Western concept, and the market here sucks, and the people don't want to pay anything. I'm sure a lot of that is true.
Okay.
So how did you become the person who rose above that?
Well, it all started with, I have a story about this. So I was consistent all the time. So for me, consistency is more important than quality too. Consistency and quantity is more important for me than quality.
Ooh.
So I was very consistent. Let's say I decided that I would make 3 videos a week. Now, if you're starting out, I would highly suggest, now this is something extreme that I'm suggesting, but at least 3 videos a week. If you can do daily, amazing.
He got a reaction right there. He's like, what? I've been doing this for 4 or 5 years. I've not done a video a day for any time ever, period. So keep going.
Yeah, so like that's gonna be one thing.
What's the
And
benefit of doing a video every single day?
it creates connection with your existing audience, and the
Okay.
YouTube algorithm works in a certain way that it sees that you are regular with your viewers. It begins promoting. So let's say I'm continually promoting videos 3 a week. What will happen is YouTube will start promoting it, and anybody who watched your video is going to show up in their home feed, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
a great tip now that we are talking about the home feed is that you gotta have the best thumbnail that grabs the most attention across all the thumbnails in the home feed. So if YouTube sees that, all right, 95% of the people who are visiting this home feed is clicking on your video, means that your video is preferred and YouTube is gonna promote it more. So what was your original question again?
I don't remember.
Me neither.
What was the original question? Was there a question here? Yeah, how did you rise above? So
Oh,
consistency.
yes. Consistency.
Dude,
Consistency.
someone throw him a
Thank
fortune
you so
cookie.
much.
Let's do this.
Yes.
Where are
So
our
I
friends?
was consistent.
Yeah.
You know Scott Gelby?
Who?
Scott Gelby?
No.
So Scott Gelby is the owner of Gelby One, and he is also a Photoshop instructor. So they do courses as well, like you do. So he was the one. He's a best-selling photographer on digital photography.
Okay.
So I used to follow him a lot. He was my, really, he was my inspiration. I was a big fanboy of Scott Gelby for 5-6 years. I used to follow him back in college. So when I had about 60,000 viewers, and Scott Gelby was doing a live stream, and I said, hey Scott, I have this question. I asked the question as we do, and he recognized me and he said, oh, we have to give a shout out. He just adjusted his coat and he was like, I have to give a shout out to Mr. Unmesh, that's how he pronounced it, Unmesh Dinda, and he talked about me, and that was the best day of my life, and I realized that
Wow.
he knew me. He recognized me. And then a crazy thing happened. I sent him a friend request on Facebook on his private account. He doesn't have a lot of friends. He doesn't accept everybody. The next morning, he accepted my friend request.
Look at that.
So, that was really a dream come true. And they do this conference called Photoshop World,
Yep.
right? You are aware of that, right?
I'm aware of it, yes.
Okay, so he's the one who does that. So I said, Scott, I didn't ask for much because I just asked him, Scott, I just messaged him on Messenger. I'm so sorry to bother you, but would you mind giving me a discount to attend Photoshop World? It's really has been my childhood dream to do that. I always wanted to go, and I really wanted to go.
Yeah.
And he's like, you don't have to pay any of that. I'll give you a guest pass. You can come for free. I said, awesome, this is amazing. But
Where is this? What city is this in?
Orlando.
Okay.
Orlando and Vegas, 2 Photoshop Worlds a year.
Got it.
So I was like, that's amazing. And then 3 weeks later, he sends me an email. You know, we were talking about with our, other employees here in the studio, and we would love to have you join us for a class here at Kelby One and teach a few class while you're at Photoshop World. Well, that's how it all started.
This story gets better and better. I just can't believe this. So you reach out. He gives you a shout out. He
Yes.
invites you to be his guest because you had the audacity just even to ask.
Yes.
And then he's like, by the way, come do a tutorial with us.
Yeah,
And
and
how old are you at this point?
this was like,
20?
no, this all happened maybe, I was
Last-
21.
21.
Yes, I
Okay,
was
it's just a couple
21.
years ago. Okay.
Yes.
And how are you feeling right now? What is the feeling when this is happening?
Better than I deserved. So
Wait. What do you mean better than you deserve?
I didn't feel like I deserved all of this all at once. So yeah, it was like so much better. But anyway, so he invited me, and from there, once I spoke, the classes gained so much attention that he had to invite me next time and the next time after that. And it got me connections to other people like Adobe Max. And
I see. There's a lesson here. So, okay, no discrimination. All you Asian kids, all you white kids, all you brown kids, look, this is what happens. He put in the work, and you didn't care about the results. You didn't care about anything else. You did the work. You got better and better at doing what you did, and eventually somebody will recognize that as long
True.
as you don't give up. Is that
True.
right?
True, absolutely true. And you got to look at what you're good at. I'm not good at Photoshop, but I'm good at teaching. So that's what sets me apart from all of the other people. So what sets
How do
you
you
apart?
how do you know that though? How do you know you're not good at Photoshop, and how do you know you're good at teaching? Because that seems like a lot of self-awareness for a young person.
It is because, I read this by. Do you know Steve Harvey?
Steve Harvey,
Yes.
the comedian.
Yes.
Yes.
You know him?
Oh, I don't know him personally. I mean, Steve wasn't at the house or anything, but I know of him.
So yeah, I was
Yeah.
reading one of his stuff.
Yeah.
And he said there's a difference between gifts and talents.
Okay, interesting.
So a gift is something that you have. Like it's something that you just have, and talent is you can build it up.
I see.
And gift sets you apart from other people. So for Steve Harvey, comedy is not a gift, it's his talent. What his gift is, he can just take in any information and turn it into funny stuff.
Okay, that's interesting.
So for me, my talent may be Photoshop. I have even done some music videos too. But my real gift, that's embarrassing. Don't
Yeah,
watch
the way you
those.
said I could read it all his faces.
Don't watch
but-
those.
And I did this. I'm like, okay.
All right, I've done skating too.
Yeah.
I broke my back. So that's when I realized, when I look back at my past,
Just turn it off, Ricky.
I looked at, hey, heck, I have taught HTML.
Yeah.
I have even taught physics. I have taught chemistry. Like, I hate those subjects, but I still taught it, and people love to learn it from me. And even I look at other people who are so good at Photoshop, and they can't teach. I thought to myself, teaching is indeed my gift. So if you find out what your gift is, it's very hard to find out. If you find out what your gift is and you work on your gift, it'll take you places.
Are there any questions that you can help somebody to find what their gift is? Like, do you guys know what your gift is? Do you? What is your gift? Being able to find a solution to anything quickly? Okay, good. That's a good gift. All right, anybody else? You guys are on that now. Nobody's making eye contact with me now. I get you. Mo, how could you do to me like that? Come on, man. You were looking at me the whole time. As soon as I asked that question, you're like, look on the floor. Mo,
Don't
what's your
point
gift?
at me. Don't point at
Yeah,
me.
what's your gift, Mo? Teaching. Ah, hey, the three of us have teaching in common. All right, all right. And connecting people. Yes, you are. You're a good connector. Okay.
Like, I understand. You're a graphic designer. You're good at teaching. Like, we can learn any software we want, but
Right.
that's not our, that's our talent.
Okay.
Our gift
right.
is teaching, which stays consistent and works with our talents.
What makes you a good teacher? Or what makes a good teacher? Let's reframe that. What makes a good teacher?
I would quote Einstein on that, because if you
Okay.
can make a 6-year-old understand something, you're a good teacher. So, yeah, in other words, if you cannot understand, if you cannot, explain it to a 6-year-old, then you haven't understood it properly.
I like that. That's a high bar. I'm rethinking all the classes and the videos I've made. Maybe I'm not that good. I'm going to work on that. That'll be my talent then. I'll work on that. Okay, let's take a couple of questions for anybody that's here. You guys want to ask any questions? Unmesh?
Microphone behind you.
Yes, okay.
Just hand that to me.
All right. I don't know if any. See, people are running right now. Literally, they're running away.
Yeah.
I won't do that. I won't do that.
I have a lot to ask questions.
Okay, here. He's got a question right here. Yeah, go ahead. First, say your name. Go ahead.
Hey, my name is Tree.
Tree?
I follow you, so I'm here for you. And so my question for you is, you were saying you want to push out a video every day.
Yes.
Right? And same thing for me when I'm browsing YouTube, and I see any channel that push out a lot of video. I really care about the content, and if it's just like a random video that they trying to push out, like it slowly is gonna turn me away from that channel.
Oh, I see.
Right?
I see
Good.
that.
Good
I see
question.
that.
Trey.
So,
Yeah.
would you, like,
where
saying
this
you
is
are
going.
pushing out a video a day, how would you pay attention to the quality? Because you were saying you rather have a quantity over quality earlier.
Yes.
Yes.
How would you balance that? Pushing
Okay.
out video every day, but keep, your content interesting for your viewer to always come back to you.
I think it totally depends upon the kind of content you do. For me, I do Photoshop videos. Secondly, as I said, my gift is teaching. So I don't have to script it out. I don't have to take a lot of takes. I know what I'm teaching, and I can just start the camera, start recording, and end it, and just edit it throughout and finish it by the evening. I don't have to take a lot of takes. It's a Photoshop tutorial, right? It doesn't take a lot of time. So that's it for me. But if you're creating something that's gonna take a while, and you care about the quality, then maybe 3 a week is the one for you. So what kind of content do you create?
Yeah, but his question is very common because at least if you're a creative person, like traditionally trained,
True.
you're taught the exact opposite. It's quality over quantity. That's why when you said quantity, that's what matters to me, and it's a radically different thought than what they've been hearing. I appreciate you for saying that, because there's something beautiful about that as well.
So there's one thing about quantity versus quality, is that quality is subjective. But quantity it's a number.
It's a number.
It's not, it's like you are connecting with your audience. I'm not saying that make trash content.
Right.
No, if you're using your gift, it's not gonna be a trash content anyway. You're not gonna post it. You want the perfectionist in you will want it to be perfect.
Yeah. Okay, I want to share something with you guys, and I think this can help bridge what you're saying with the creative community. And we can get obsessed over the details. And I was coaching somebody last night, believe it or not, and I asked them, like, why do you obsess over the details?
True.
Is what you're doing going to be recognized by your client? He let out a big sigh, a little defeated. He's like, no. So who are you doing it for? And he's a father, a husband. And so when he gives that time away, he's taken away from something else.
True.
So he's taken away from his family, from his kids, and it hurt him to understand this concept because he was getting in his own way. Now here's the story. That wasn't the story. Here's the real story. The story is this, is that some of you guys who are following me on Instagram have seen me grow really, really fast, about 8,000 to 9,000 follows a week. And the only way that I did that was because I changed my posting schedule from once every 5 to 7 days to 2 times a day. And I felt what you feel, Tree. I felt like, what am I going to do? Like, how can I do this? It used to take me about 8 hours to make one Instagram post. It took me a long time, 10 carousels or 10 slide carousels. And I challenged myself and I challenged my group, everybody hit your goal. So my goal was to post twice a day. And at first I failed, but by day 2, I started to do it. And here's the shock and surprise. What I thought was not good content was the stuff that took off.
Exactly.
Isn't that weird?
That's weird. And that's what I said. Do not watch my most viewed videos. They're bad. But for other people, they're not.
Yes,
It's
because
crazy.
you're judging it based on what you know and what you've grown into. So here's the cool thing. Because I was making content so quickly, I started to learn all kinds of tricks and tips and process, and then now I'm going to teach a class on how to do this. So more opportunities have come up because I've let go of the idea that quality trumps all. Iterating, learning from your posts and reading the comments and engaging with the community and having that connection like you're talking about is really what made the difference. So I can totally 100% back that up. So if you guys can only take one thing from this conversation right now, is to get over the idea of quality. Yes, quality will be baked in there somewhere, but we all know this. Creativity expands and contracts to meet deadlines. Give yourself a deadline. Forgive yourself if you don't make it, but try your best to hold up to that, and you will be shocked at what you learn and the reaction that you get from your community.
I'm glad that you said that you'll be shocked at what you learn, not how many followers you get. Because I'm sure as a creative person, you might have observed this, that after making, let's say, 500 Instagram posts, you, my friend, are a completely different person. You are a completely different photographer or designer or whatever you do. Because if you look at a photographer 500 posts ago, you will see a drastic change in the quality of their photos. It doesn't matter how many subscribers or followers they've got, but they become better in the process.
Let me prompt Ricky and the broadcasting team, Jonah and students here. You guys are monitoring the comments. How many people are watching this live right now? 290. Okay, so does anybody have any comments or questions?
Yeah, they want to know what his process is for making so many videos. You
That's
must
a
have
great-
a team, right?
I don't have
That's
a
a great question.
Huge
Okay.
team behind you.
What's your process? You must have a huge team to help you.
It's
Okay.
a one-man band. So, I'll tell you a story, a little survey that I did. I used to stress myself up. I was just like a perfectionist. I would want the crispiest video and record everything in 4K and, you know, do the highest
quality, everything.
color grading and apply all those Adobe After Effects stuff and all of that.
Guilty.
You know? I would take all the time to do it. And then I would one day I wouldn't have time. I would just record it in 1080p, 24 FPS, just zoop, zap, zip, and just edit everything in. No lower thirds, nothing. And that video gets 100,000 views versus that video which gets 10,000 views and just shuts down. I was like, what? What's going on? And then I asked, then I did a survey on my Facebook. All right, do you watch my videos in 4K? 1080p, 720 or lower than that? I'm gonna tell you 0.01% and even lower than that people watch in 4K. I'm like, why did I work so hard?
Okay.
I could have cut my time in half, if not more.
All right, I'm just going to say this. All the creative people here buying 8K cameras, making 8K content, who is watching your stuff right now?
In 8K.
Maybe you're Michael Bay. Maybe you're J.J. Abrams. But the rest of us mortals, I mean, the internet connection isn't even that great. And it's fine. So I have a theory. I'm going to say it, and if you disagree, please disagree with me, okay? Here's my theory, people. Here's the theory. The theory is this. YouTube is a different medium than television or radio. You know, when they went from radio to television, they produced programs just like they did on the radio, but they just turned the camera on. So they tried to mimic old media. And so when we tried to make YouTube like cinematic masterpieces, well, go to Netflix, go to HBO, go to Showtime, go to one of these other networks, right? Because that's where I want that from. What I want from YouTube is conversational, in the moment, personality. I want to actually see mistakes and you being human and very relatable, because that's the different connection. And I want to have a dialogue with you. You can't talk to Arnold, you can't talk to Will Smith, but you can talk to Unmesh.
Yes.
You can talk to Chris Doe and everybody else here.
Absolutely.
You can do that.
Absolutely.
So that
YouTube
polish
is more of a personal connection, while
Yes.
movies are not at all. So it's a different medium, and it's important for people to post natively.
Yes, 100%.
Most people don't do that. They take the YouTube stuff, just paste it on Instagram, paste it on other places, paste it on Facebook. That's not gonna work
Not going to work.
at all.
So I think making it prettier creates a barrier, at least on YouTube, between you and your audience. What I want is conversation, I want real, I want authentic, and sometimes, like when the print is a little crooked or the light's a little bit off, that lets me know it's real. right? Like when somebody throws a weird comment in it, you know it's live and it's real. Okay, so tip number two. What's tip number 2?
What was one?
Don't make me repeat number. One was quantity over quality, iterate, learn from what you do. Tip number 2 is overproducing your content can actually create a barrier to people connecting and relating with you. And they say this to us all the time, actually, on some of our more produced content. They say, really great, but I missed the little moments in between. I want to show for the weird stuff that happens. It's a little bit too polished right now. And so we enter into that valley where we're trying to be something that YouTube maybe doesn't want from us.
True.
Okay.
I totally agree with
this
you
is
on
good.
that one.
Let's do one more. Does anybody here live with us have a question? Or Ricky, does anybody else online have a question that we can answer? And then I got to talk to you about business. We got to talk some business. Or Ben Burns calls it the businessty. Let's do it. What's your name?
Tammy Coker.
Tammy, what's up,
Tammy.
man?
Nothing much. How you guys doing?
Thank you.
I love what you do. I love your story, and I watch your tutorials.
Thank
Look
you
at
so
that.
much. Mine or his?
Two worlds collide.
Yes.
He loves us. He loves your tutorials because we
Yeah,
don't
I
do
was walking
tutorials.
and I heard you talking. I was like, what? And I heard Chris. I was like, what? Yeah, thank you guys for
Thank you
what you're
so
doing
much.
for the creative community. It really means a lot. My
Well,
question.
thank you for coming. I really appreciate
No,
it.
thank you. My question is, I do a lot of graphic design and photography as well, and that's kind of what I'm known for. And I want to get more videos on YouTube. But again, like you guys were talking about, I struggle with the whole quantity over quality. And I also
So what do you want to make videos about?
well, I was a high school teacher. I taught photography and graphic design. I want to make things like like some of the stuff like you make, like you find the trick on Photoshop. So I make a poster.
Okay.
I started this project called A Poster a Day. So I did it for a whole year. And so I'm doing season 2 now, but I want to have tutorials where I can show people how to do that stuff. Maybe how did I make today's poster, or how did I make poster 360, stuff
All
like
right.
that. And I want to do that on YouTube, but I'm having trouble figuring out a workflow to make things work. Because I noticed you have 2 cameras or one
I
camera,
just have one camera, you know.
and then you record your
We
screen.
have 45.
We have. I just shoot with one camera. If you want to change the angle, just zoom it in a little bit in
Okay.
Premiere Pro.
And then you record with your screen.
Yeah, I just use a free software, OBS and stuff.
Okay,
You know,
because
nothing-
I
it's-
heard
you
about
don't-
ScreenFlow. I don't know if that's
We use ScreenFlow.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to figure out a workflow that works, and how you found that workflow for you. Because I find myself sometimes I would spend 3-4 hours and and I'm trying to make sure the video is like 10 minutes or less.
So you need to figure out what is easier for you. There is no such thing as the best workflow. There's the thing that works for you. That's why a workflow is something that's very personal. Now, for my kind of content, I know what workflow is gonna work best for me. If I tell you that, I'm pretty sure it's not gonna work great for you, because you create photography content, right? It might be absolutely different for you. So workflow is something which is absolutely personal, but it's important to look at what kind of workflow will get you results that you are looking for in the fastest way possible if you are on YouTube. Because on YouTube, time matters.
Right.
Now, for me, I'm gonna tell you my secret time. My secret time is, I don't know what the time would be equal to be in Eastern time, but my secret time is 8:30 p.m. IST. It is when most of my audience are online. It is after from 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. my audience peak goes, it's at the peak, like it just goes up from there.
Okay.
So you need to find out what time is your audience, most of the audience going to be online, and your workflows should be such that maybe, let's say, 8:30, you have to get your video out by 8:30. So if you start shooting in the morning, preparing videos in the morning, you have to determine how many hours it's going to take me to complete the whole production.
Okay.
And what workflow fits into that.
Right.
Your workflow should not be determined by what kind of too much of the quality. It should be determined by the time, because you're on YouTube.
Right. Do you have a day that you just like crank out 4 videos?
So here's what I used to do when I had a lot of ideas.
Those like a long time ago, back then. Back when you're
Yes.
like 18.
Right.
Yeah. So I used to shoot 4 videos in a day, back to back. It was easy to do. Like, I would start in the morning, and by 11, 12 p.m. I would be done. And then I would edit it throughout the week, and with my comfort, release 3 or 4 a week. On one day, you shot all the video, and make sure to change your T-shirt between those videos.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Good
Smart.
tip. Or always wear the same shirt and it'll be fine. It's your uniform, right?
All right.
Oh, yeah, okay. So you had said something kind of important I want to highlight for everybody that's watching, which is you need to learn when the peak viewing time is for your audience.
True.
Where's your major audience, or like where are they?
US,
US,
India, and then Canada, Germany, UK.
But US is number one?
US is number 1.
So you're doing it on American time, basically.
So 8:30 for me, it's
Yeah.
morning in America.
Yeah. That's why we post in the morning.
Oh yes.
So ours is US, UK, India, Philippines. It's it's a global audience.
Yes,
You kind of have to
true,
figure that out.
true.
Okay, so that's good. So I think we get obsessed over workflows, and like the name workflow, whatever works and makes you flow. So I think a lot of times, and I'm going to be real with our audience. I'm looking at them, but I'm really talking to you. Is that I think sometimes we use technology as an excuse not to do what we need to do. That we need that camera. Oh, if I only had that lens, I would look a little bit better. If I only had that software, that plug-in. And this, to me, as an employer, is the number one sign that you're not a good fit for me. People come into our office all the time. They do beautiful work. First time they sit down, I need you to do this thing. Oh, I need 45 plugins. I need that typeface. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
that is hard. That is hard for me to deal with, right? So no, use the tools that you have, make it work. That's the thing. Don't let these things be crutches. Now, Stuart's giving me a signal like we need to wrap because we need to wrap. Okay, so how much time do we have? Like 5 minutes?
Yeah, 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Okay, we'll try and wrap. Okay, so that was a great question. I see that you're a speaker. What did you speak on?
Teaching a class on Photoshop.
Teaching a class?
Teaching a class on Photoshop on the iPad.
Beautiful.
Well,
See,
I did
you're
the same
here.
thing today.
Yes. And you're here as a guest of Adobe, right? No. Okay. Why am I
Yeah.
making those kind of stories? No, you're a speaker.
Yeah,
Don't
I was an Adobe Creative Resident last year, and so they brought me this year again
Yeah.
to teach a class.
But they paid for you, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, nice. Well
Thank
done,
you.
man.
Thank
You're
you.
doing good things.
Yeah, I'm trying to get on YouTube. You know?
Yeah. Okay. Let's do it. You're trending on YouTube?
No, you're trying to get on.
Oh, you're trying to get it. I was like,
on.
trending on YouTube. Get up here. Get this loser off. Oh, okay. All right. So I know I have a lot more questions with you for business and all these kinds of things, but it's too much for us to talk about in the last few minutes here. So maybe this is an opportunity for us to connect. Maybe do a dual live stream. Like maybe we can do something like that.
Absolutely.
Do you do live streams?
I used to.
Okay. Well, you
Or
do
we
one
can
with
do
us.
one.
Yeah, we can host it.
Yeah, we can do it.
Okay.
If you're hosting it, I'm fine.
Yes. Okay. So any final thoughts here? I would love for you to give any kind of encouraging, positive words. It doesn't matter if you're in a small town in the USA or somewhere in India or Nigeria or Ghana, wherever it is. Can you give some encouraging words for people who are just starting out or just trying to get over that? Like I'm stuck. I can't get going.
All right. My one thing is, and I always say this at the end of every video that I do, that is keep creating. That is the best advice I got, and I pass it along in every video I do. And there's a reason for it, because it applied to me as well. When I was creating videos, I didn't get any attention. I didn't get any views. Nobody recognized me. But that's what I did. I just kept creating consistently. Don't look at how many subscribers you're getting. Don't look at what kind of likes or dislikes or comments I'm getting.
Yeah.
You just keep creating. And at the end of the day, when you keep creating, it just, you are a different person.
Yeah. I love that. Guys, that's
keep
it.
creating.
That's it. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming on the show, man.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for having me.
All right,
I really
guys.
appreciate it.